Previously on No Man's Land, I had a field of soybeans as well as a field of corn that needed to be harvested, and once those were done, I got some herbicide sprayed, field cultivated and seeded with corn and also again with soybeans before moving my pigs into their brand new home so they could live in a much better pen. All right, welcome back everybody to some more No Man's Land. It is currently November, around 12:26 in the afternoon. And if we look at our map, we've got a field of soybeans ready to harvest. So the first thing I want to do is, like always, get into the combine. We're going to start with our Deere, and we're going to have this guy run the course play, and I'll hop in the Claas combine and do that myself, just like we did with the corn last episode. So let's hook up to the header here. Very nice. And the nice thing about No Man's Land is there's really no need for trailers. You can just drive these headers around town and not have to worry about hitting into anything. So it makes things just a bit quicker than having to load it up onto a trailer every time you want to take it out to a field. But we'll just open up this field. We'll get along the edge of the field like so. And then we'll look at getting this course play set up. We're going to have him run 3 headlands. Very nice. And we can send him on his way. So he'll get started here pulling out the headlands. It won't take too long, I don't think, to get this field done. But just to speed things up, I will get into the combine. But before I do that, I do want to pull a trailer out to here. Just in the truck now, we're going to drive it over just to the edge of the field. I don't know where this combine is going to finish off with this full tank. So for now, I'll just leave it right here. And then we'll get into the Claas combine. Let's pull in and pick our header up. Very nice. Now I'm just going to wait for the Deere combine to finish up its first headland here so that we can get into this field and get started doing it ourselves. Now, if you watched last episode, you know that we harvested some corn. That stuff is ready to sell in January. So I think once we get this field wrapped up, I will be taking that stuff off to the sell point. I've got some corn and then also some wheat that I can probably fully sell the wheat off because I think the barley field should be pretty close to harvest. I won't need the wheat to keep as feed for the pigs, so I can sell it off completely. And now that the Deere combine has finished up the first headland, we can get started on this field ourselves. I'm just going to make a rough guess and say right there, we probably will be chewing into a bit of that third headland pass for the Deere combine, but it's not a big deal. It'll just run right through even though it won't be picking anything up. So let's try and keep this pretty straight to get a good edge. And we'll be going back and forth on this field until we meet the Deere combine in the middle at some point. I'm not sure where that'll be, but we will probably get to around past the halfway mark, I would say, before we meet that Deere combine. It is a bit tight turning around here, only with the one pass done. So I will try and make it work. There we go. I think I got it lined up pretty well. Now these beans I have some that are in the silo already, around 50,000, I think. We'll just add this harvest to the silo, and when the time comes in June or July, whatever month is best to sell them, we'll get them sold off, and hopefully it'll be somewhat similar to the last bean sale we had, which was over $1 million. That really helped us go forward. We bought a new pig pen with it, and we also bought some more sheds, so we'll be looking to expand the farm once we get these beans sold off. And it looks like in the distance there, our Deere combine is actually stuck behind our trailer, so I'll have to hop out of this combine. Get in the trailer. Yeah, it's causing a bit of an issue, so we'll just pull him off to the side and this guy can continue on his way. And that means we can just hop right back into the Claas and continue harvesting. There was a second there where I was really wondering where the Deere was, but it makes sense. It got caught up on the trailer, which means it wasn't running, which isn't great for efficiency, but it's also not the end of the world. This field really isn't too big, so with both combines running on it, it shouldn't take us too long to get this harvested. Looks like our Deere combine is full, so we'll hop in our trailer. We'll drive on over and get the first load unloaded. That should be around 20,000 beans in that tank right now. There we go. This guy is unloading into this trailer. Very nice. Wonderful. That's the first load. We got 18,400 beans from that one. This guy's going to run right into our combine. So we're going to have to get this out of the way, and then we'll continue harvesting ourselves in the Claas. Now let's continue on our way. You can see we're already about halfway through this field, so It won't take much at all, maybe 20 minutes tops to get this guy done. And it definitely makes it turning around much easier having this second pass done. So very nice. And I have a feeling it's going to cause us some issues. So we're going to have to do a little bit of navigation to get around this for this pass. Not the cleanest approach, but there we go. Now I'm contemplating whether I want to put beans back into this ground or if I want to switch it up with corn. I think I'm going to go with beans, just because that way we can get them grown before June when it's time to sell them off. I don't know if it actually affects the yield if going twice in the same ground with the same crop. I know it does in real life, but I'm not sure if that translates to the game. So we might take a bit of a yield hit, but I would still rather harvest a whole other field of soybeans, which can go to the sale because it'll just make it that much bigger. And this will likely be one of the last passes that we can do before we have to unload this combine, as we're sitting at around 78% full already. We might be able to get one, maybe two more, but it won't be much longer until it's time to unload this guy. Just checking our map now, it doesn't look like this field will need lime put in the ground once we've harvested these crops. So alright, so we're sitting around 93% full in the grain tank. I think once we get unloading this combine into the trailer, I'm going to head back to the farm and grab the 9520, hook up to the cultivator and get that started here to help with efficiency, since we don't have to put lime down on this field once we've finished harvesting. Alright, 2% more and we will be full, which should be just about right now. So let's get our auger opened up. Let's hop in the truck with the trailer and go on over there so we can get this load unloaded. And then, like I said, I'll hop over to the farm and get the 9520 hooked up to the cultivator, and we can get that started ripping up this ground. Very nice. Now we're in the 9520. Let's just pull it on over to the cultivator right here, and we'll back in slowly, hook up to the cultivator. And since the drill does have fertilizing capacity, I won't have to worry about putting any fertilizer down on the field before that. I will have to fertilize it a second pass once we sleep through the night and get to the next day, but that's not an issue. Alright, our course is generated, which means this guy should be ready to go. All we have to do is start the worker, and he is on his way. Very nice. And it actually looks like the Deere combine is full. So let's run over to the trailer and get the Deere combine unloading. Just making our way over to that combine now. Once we get it unloaded, I won't be shocked if we can finish off the rest of this soybeans with the Claas combine while this guy's unloading. So very efficient, getting this soybean field done very nice and quick. Always like that. I definitely need to look into extending the arm on this combine a little bit. It seems to struggle getting past this 15-meter wide bean header, but I'm able to make it work. I just need to mess around with it a little bit. Regardless, let's hop on this combine and let's finish this field off. I'm not too sure if we're going to be able to get by that combine without having to go make a turn, so let's see how accurate and how close we can really get to it. Oh yeah, we won't have to worry about making contact with it. I think this header on the Claas combine is only 12 meters wide, so it is a bit smaller, but in this case it really did work out. And the Deere combine is finished, so we are rolling together in tandem, and I feel like he's gonna actually pass me by the time we get to the end of this row. So let's see. It's a little bit of a drag race. He's catching up. Oh yeah, he's gonna take the cake for sure. Look how quick. He must run just that much quicker. I wonder why that is. We're gonna let the Deere take care of the rest of this patch since it's on the course play. While that's happening, I am gonna run over to the trailer, and everyone close your eyes because I'm gonna go right through the crop. Just a bit quicker that way. We'll get our auger open and we'll roll up right to the side of this trailer, and we should have no problems unloading into this guy. Very nice. That was an insanely quick harvest. That really took no time at all, maybe 15 minutes if that. And we'll hop in this combine. He's just about finished up, so we'll stop our worker and we'll run over to the trailer and start unloading this combine. It's only got 2,700 beans in it, so it's not very much, but we'll take it and we'll be able to see how much we got off of this field. Alright, very nice. Our total yield from this field is 62,564 liters. For beans, that's quite a lot of money, so we'll get it put into the silo and we'll check to see how much we actually have now. Just pull up to the silo and we'll start unloading. All right, that's all 62,000 in there. Let's head over to our stock check. And you can see we've got 130,000 liters of soybeans sitting in the silo, which is valued at over $500,000, 509,000. Very nice. So I think we should be able to get hopefully 2, maybe 3 more soybean fields harvested before we sell it off in June, which is going to mean we have quite a substantial harvest. For now, I will just get this trailer put into the shed like so, and we'll get those oh, whoops. Shot past it a little bit, and then we'll get those combines. I don't think I'm going to put them away because I think once we get the cultivating and drilling done on this field here, this patch of barley is going to be ready to harvest tomorrow, the next month I should say. So I think the plan is we'll get this seeded with soybeans, we'll get that field of barley harvested and also seeded with soybeans, and then maybe we can finish this episode off with a sale. We can sell our corn and our wheat and make a bit of money from it. And for now, I think what I'm going to do is just pull the combine up and just leave it right here ready to get going on this field when the time comes. I'll get in the Claas combine and I'll probably just put it right beside it. All right, very nice. We can leave the Claas combine right here. Now that that is done, we will hop in. I think I'm going to take the John Deere 8R. I'm going to hook it up to the drill and we'll get seeding some soybeans into that field that we just took care of. And once again, I am having trouble at this multi-fruit buying station loading up seed. I don't know what the issue is. I can't even open up the seed box on the seeder. So I don't know what the issue is. Okay, so I just unhooked the Deere 8R from this seeder. I'm not sure if it's something to do with the amount of hydraulic ports it has or something. I've never really experienced that before, but as soon as I hooked it up to the Massey, I was able to get it going no problem. Oh well, not a big deal. We have more than enough ground to get this seeder started. It is on soybeans, very nice, so we're just going to pull it up here. Let's get our course generated. Okay, we've got our course generated, so we can put this guy to work to get soybeans into the ground. Very nice. And if we just look at our cultivator, you can see he's just chugging along. We've still got about 15 minutes left on him. So actually the cultivating and the seeding together is going to take much longer than the harvested, and these things are running at the same time. So it just goes to show how efficient having those 2 combines is and how much quicker it really speeds things up. As I mentioned last episode, I do want to start getting some proper paths put in place, start mapping these fields up and just cleaning everything up a little bit. My goal when I first started this series was just to try and get as established as possible, but we've got enough equipment now and enough farmland that we can start spending some money and some time focusing on sort of the aesthetic of the farm, because right now it is pretty bare bones. I also want to get the shapes of these fields cleaned up a little bit, because the way that they do cause a bit of issues for the tractor sometimes, and overall it's just not a very clean farm at the moment. So that's something I do want to fix very soon. Likely once I've sold the beans next June, that'll probably be when I have enough money to start doing that. For now, I am just going to focus a bit more on the farming side of things, and once we have enough money to start focusing more on that and less on the production and just generating as much money as we can, then we'll be in a position where we can really start making things look nice around here. This guy is just about finished up, so we will get the last bit cultivated and then we'll drive this cultivator back to the shed and put away for now. So let's get this guy backed into the shed, just like so. Very nice. And then we can put the 9520 back in its place. And if we check in with our drill, you can see we've got, I don't know, maybe 5 more minutes. Yeah, 5 minutes left to go on this thing. So I will check back in with you guys when it's finished up. Just finishing up the last little bit of drilling that needs to be done. Very nice. We've got soybeans into this field now, and there's not much that needs to be done before we sleep through the night. So let's get the seeder put back. I actually am not going to put it all the way away, because I'm going to put it beside the combines, as we are going to sleep through the night and get that barley field taken out. Alright, we will just leave them here for now. Let's get them turned on, and I will see you guys in the next month. Alright, we are now in December. It is 9:51 in the morning. Perfect weather to get these combines out into the field of barley and get started on that. So let's open up this field with the Deere harvester. We are, again, just like we did with the soybeans, we're going to run the Deere harvester on the course play, and then I'll hop in the Claas combine once that gets started, and we'll get this thing, and we'll get this knocked out. One thing I do want to remember is I want to make sure that we have straw swath enabled, because that is something that I will want to do this episode. We'll activate straw swath, very nice. And we can get this combine started on this field of barley. This is actually one of the first times I've ever planted and harvested barley myself, so I'll be very interested to see how it yields. And as that combine starts, I am going to pull out the little Massey and hook it up to the fertilizer spreader, as we need to get some fertilizer put on the field of soybeans we just finished, and we're able to do that now. Very nice. Let's fill it up with fertilizer, and we can get this guy onto the soybean field we just planted. There we go. This guy is on his way getting this field fertilized. And it looks like our Deere combine's already full with barley, so we'll have to get the trailer loaded out over there. That really did fill up fast. I don't even think we've completed half the headland. Alright, just unloading now, and thinking about it, once this guy gets unloaded and starts the headland, instead of me running in the other combine, what I'll likely do is I'll hire a manual worker to do that. And then I'll hook the forage wagon up to a tractor, and I'll get this straw collected off the ground. Alright, this guy's done unloading, so let's just pull this trailer out of the way. Thankfully we don't hit any trees, and we'll just leave it right here for now. But we've already got 18,000 liters of barley just from half a headland, so this is going to be a pretty large harvest. Now, just before I do get the second combine working, because I do want another headland to be created, I am going to run back to the shop, because we do have our forage wagon just sitting there for now. So I'll grab that, and we can get picking up this straw. There we go, it's hooked up. Let's head back to the farm, and we can get picking up. And I can already tell that Deere combine is almost full again, so we'll get our trailer moved over to a closer place to unload it, and hopefully then I will be able to get the other combine started. We made it. We're under this combine. He can get unloading. Alright, that guy's done unloading. We're sitting around 37,000 liters of barley so far, so I'm expecting a pretty substantial yield off of this field. And I think I am going to let this combine do its headlands first before I get the other one started. So for now, what I'll do is I'll get collecting some of this straw that's on the ground. Again, this straw is mainly going towards bedding for our pigs. I probably will sell a bunch of it, because I think we'll have a pretty decent amount, much more than we need for the pigs. So potentially I'll be selling some of this, or I might just hold on to it. We'll see. And once again, our combine is full of barley, so I'll hop out of this. And I'll hop in the truck, and we can get our trailer moved over to that combine so we can keep going. Okay, so let's just pull our truck right up alongside them. The auger should open, very nice. And we can get unloading this combine for our third load of barley. I do have a feeling it'll be a bit tedious trying to get this field done, just because it seems that the grain tanks on the combines are just filling up so quick. So I'm going to have to keep hopping out of the forage wagon into the truck so we can unload those combines. But not a big deal. We'll get it done eventually. Alright, we are catching up to this combine with the forage wagon. So for now, I'm just going to leave it right here. I wouldn't be shocked if this combine doesn't have too much longer before it needs to be unloaded once more. If I can get in it, we'll see. There we go. Oh, I'm actually blocking it, so I'm going to have to back up. There we go. We'll pick up this little patch of straw while we're at it. There we are. Let's let him unload, and let's get this other combine up and running. I'm going to start the worker now. I have a feeling like he's going to turn around as soon as he gets to this little bit, which isn't great, but if we have to restart him, we will. It's not the end of the world. Let's see if he just keeps chugging along. No, he stopped. Okay, so what we're gonna do then is we'll just start this other worker back on the other side. I will wait till he gets to the other edge, and then I'll clean up everything to the right of us because it's not gonna hit that. And then we can have this straight line that he can go up and down, and we'll be able to get this barley done in no time. Okay, I got that little patch cleaned up, so now we can just hire this worker and send him on our way, and we should be good to go from here on out. I do think what I actually am going to do as well is I'm going to hop in the, not that one, in the, nope, not that one again, in the 9520, there we go. We'll hook up to the cultivator, and we'll actually get this cultivator going as well, because I can get going on the straw, the cultivator can get going, and then we'll have to come out and unload those combines every now and then, but I think we've done enough to get this guy started right now. So we'll hook it up, very nice. Let's get this guy started on the field. There we go, we got his track set up properly so he can be on his way. Let's get over into this forage wagon and let's get collecting some straw before these combines need to be unloaded. Probably the second last load of barley out of this combine before we're done on this field. We'll get it unloaded and back in the straw wagon. Okay, so I'm gonna stop this combine right away and get him unloading because he is pretty full, and we are actually done with harvest on this field. For some reason, this combine, the Claas combine, didn't get this little patch, so I'll just pick it up quickly myself. No stress, very nice. And I will get this combine unloading as well, and then I can finish up with the straw, get these equipment put away, and then I think we should be able to put the seeder on by then because the cultivator will have done enough passes that it can finish up. So let's get the last 3,000 liters in here, very nice. And I will get back in the forage wagon and finish up with the rest of the straw. Alright, just gonna try and scoot in, very nice, right through here. This is the last little bit of straw that we have to pick up. We're sitting at 625,000 liters, so that's plenty of straw. I don't know if I'm gonna sell any of it just yet. I think we'll hold on to it all into the silo, and that way we won't have to worry about collecting straw for a little bit. I mean, the pigs won't be going through it that quick, especially with the amount that we have, so it's a good start for now. Let's get this. I do want to get the seeder put on right away so that we can speed things up a little bit. This cultivator is almost done its third pass, so we've definitely got the space to get started on our seeding of beans into this field. Alright, we've got our field created. Let's get this guy going, planting some beans into these fields. Very nice, very happy with that. And while those machines are going, I'm going to take this hay over to the pig pen and get some hay unloaded into there right away, and then I will dump the rest of it into one of these silos here. Yeah, so they only needed about 15,000 liters from that, so we've got months and months and months of straw left over. So what I'll do is I will just dump the rest of it into this silo here. You know it's busy when all the tractors are out on all the tractor. You know it's busy when all of the tractors are out in the field and it's an empty garage. Alrighty, we've got both combines and headers back into the shed, so let's run over to that trailer and see how many liters of barley we've produced. Alright, so we're sitting at 168,000 liters of barley. That's not too bad at all. I actually want to see what the value of this is. I wouldn't be shocked if it's only maybe 100,000. Okay, so that's done unloading. It seems like our total value is at 200,000, so it's actually a decent amount. So I think the plan is we're going to sell a majority of this barley. We'll sell a majority of this wheat, and then we'll sell a majority of this corn. So we should be looking at about $500,000 in sales. I will just leave the trailer here for now, and let's go check and see how our cultivator is doing. Alright, so our cultivator is running very nice. You can see we've got probably close to half the field done. I would assume we've got about 16-17 minutes left to go on this thing. I will actually run over to that seeder to make sure that it's not running. Oh, would you look at that? We're actually out of seed. That was perfect timing. So I'm just going to run this guy to the multi-fruit buying station. We'll get it loaded up with seed and back out here to finish off the rest of this field. Okay, so we've got this seeder full of seed and fertilizer now, so we can start him back up on his way and he can continue doing his job. And actually that fertilizer spreader is done that I started at the start of this month, so we'll get this guy moved over and filled up with fertilizer so he's ready to go on this field once it's done. Okay, we will be done with cultivating after this right here. Very nice. So let's get this guy put away for the day because we will no longer need him. And then this seeding should be done in the next 10 minutes or so. So I'll see you guys when that's wrapped up. Alright, that is the last little bit of this field that needs to be seeded. So let's get this drill put away. And then I will see you guys in January when it's time to sell off our corn, wheat, and barley. Okay, it is now January, which means it is time to make some money. Let's start with our wheat. We're going to load about 100,000 liters of that into this trailer. All right, just at the sale point now. Let's get this first load unloaded and see how much we make off this wheat. All right, $125,000 from that load of wheat. Let's get loaded up with some corn and I'll meet you guys back at the sale point. All right, just back at the sale point, we've got all 195,000 liters in our trailer. Let's tip it off and see how much we make. All right, beautiful. Another $290,000 in the bank account. Let's go get our last load of barley and I will meet you over here when we're ready to sell it off. Pulling in with our last load of the day, we've got about 25,000 liters of barley left at the silo, so let's sell this off and then I'll add up what we've made from all our sales today. All right, $161,000 from the barley, which puts our total sale with the barley, the wheat, and the corn at $578,000. So overall, a really good sale. Let's get this trailer back to the shed. Well, folks, I am going to wrap it up there. I hope you guys did enjoy this episode. It was quite the productive one. We got 2 fields harvested and both seeded with soybeans so that we can have a pretty decent sale come next June. And we also sold around $487,000 in corn, wheat, and barley. So overall, I'm really happy with how today went. If you are, please feel free to leave a like, comment if you have any suggestions or any questions, and subscribe if you want to see more future videos. I appreciate you guys for checking out this video. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.